From WESH 2 News, this is a Hurricane Matthew special report.
Right now, all beachside communities in Brevard and Volusia counties are under mandatory evacuation orders. Leave now or ride out the storm at your own risk.
Deadly Hurricane Matthew strengthened slightly as it barreled towards the Bahamas. Now it's moving toward the southern tip of Florida and making its trek up the East Coast.
Almost all local schools are closed tomorrow. Airports are shutting down and beach towns are boarding up, and folks are heading to the mainland.
Our extended team storm coverage continues with Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi with the very latest on Matthew. Tony?
So we're at 7:30, and about 25 minutes from now, we're getting some new data from the Hurricane Center. We'll get that intermediate advisory. The code's not going to change, but the information you're about to see on the top right there, as the guys just put it up, that might change slightly. I'm not looking for any significant changes. We're not seeing anything that would scream a dramatic drop in pressure or a big rise in winds, but there will be probably a little bit of a minor adjustment. The pressure is going to probably be running in the mid 950s, and the winds will probably go up to 125. So you can see now, there's the path on its closest approach. Friday afternoon, Friday night, that's when we have a Cat 4 potentially right at or just along our coastline. So that's what we're going to have to monitor again very carefully as we go forward. Can't stress this enough. With a Cat 4 going by along the coast, you need to make sure your preparations are in play no later than noon time tomorrow. We take a look at the model guidance here. Pretty good agreement until about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. You've got the camp that it's offshore, and you've got the camp that's growing closer to the coast or onshore. That could be a huge difference in the winds up north. If we have a landfalling hurricane down to the south as opposed to one brushing the coast, could be the difference between a Category 4, a Category Strong 2, or maybe even a Cat 3. So that's one of the angles we'll be watching. Either which way, there's going to be a lot of wind with all of these computer models coming across or just offshore of the Florida Peninsula. So speaking of the wind, right now, we have 45-mile-an-hour winds, 45 mile out from the center, 45 miles, hurricane force winds. Easier for me to say right there. A lot of talking today. And then in the yellow, 175-mile-an-hour winds. Those are tropical storm force winds, I should say, going out 175 miles. We take a look at the hurricane advisories. No shift. These may shift by the 11 o'clock advisory. Farther to the north, the hurricane warnings, that is. But right now, Flagler County, you are under a watch. We take a look now at the forecast wind gusts. 8 p.m. on Thursday. You can see almost tropical storm force in Brevard County. By the time we get to 2 a.m., tropical storm force winds over a good chunk of central Florida. Then we get you to about 9 a.m. hurricane force winds. Sanford along the coast, Daytona Beach, and then watch what happens in Palm Coast as the storm system continues to lift to the north. Again, peaking at about 93 and then coming down after about 8 o'clock in the evening as the storm system lifts more towards the northeast. That's just one model. That's just the GFS. So let's take a look now at these impacts along the coast. Volusia County, greatest winds 12 a.m. on Friday, midnight to 8 p.m. in the evening on Friday. Based on the latest forecast with a hurricane that's right along the coast at Cat 4, we'll put those gusts at potentially 130 miles an hour. High tides for surge purposes as we get you on into Thursday, 12:05 in the afternoon, and then again just after midnight on Friday. More tide times for Brevard County coming up, guys, a little bit later on.
All right, Tony, we'll see you soon. Hundreds of people were heeding the warnings and getting out of the path of Hurricane Matthew. This is a picture from earlier today, and you can see it was just bumper to bumper. But now we've got a live look at the beach line in Brevard County, where it's a dark camera there, but things are moving along nicely in both directions. Now, authorities had ordered the evacuation of Merritt Island and the Barrier Islands to begin at 3 this afternoon, but westbound traffic started filling up long after that. Also in Volusia County, officials ordered beachside areas to evacuate. Bridges there will close tomorrow around 6 p.m. Governor Rick Scott going up and down the East Coast today, urging Floridians to take the hurricane warnings seriously.
He brought his urgent message to Brevard County this afternoon. WESH 2's Amanda Crawford is live in Rockledge, and Amanda, the governor's message is loud and clear.
Yeah, absolutely. It's evacuate now if you need to and be prepared. He spoke here at the Emergency Operations Center, and you can see it's just kind of a buzz of activity right now. They're getting lots of questions about evacuation routes and shelters, and their message is the same as the governor's. It's act now and prepare for this storm. bracing for high winds, flooding, and widespread power outages.
We have all of those concerns kind of mixed in a blender right now, and our biggest thing is we just want to get everybody hunkered down and make sure that they've secured their homes and that they're safe, and then we'll go from there.
Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey met with Governor Rick Scott Wednesday afternoon. Their message to everyone: don't underestimate this storm.
Do not take any chances and do not wait. Be ready now. Know your evacuation zone.
Governor Scott calls Hurricane Matthew deadly. Anyone in flood-prone areas needs to move to safety. Cape Canaveral Hospital already evacuated their patients. The sheriff says his crews are ready to protect and help their community.
We're doing everything we can to encourage everybody to leave. There are some that will say, no, we're just not leaving, and so we'll deal with those on a call-by-call basis, but our team's going to be prepared to respond.
Now here at the center, I'm told questions about sandbags have kind of filtered off. More questions about how to protect their homes or how to get out. Now, we also know that there are 6,000 National Guard members on standby. The governor went through some of those details today. Reporting live, Amanda Crawford, WESH 2 News.
With hurricane warnings extending inland, preparations are in full swing across Central Florida. The city of Orlando is urging preparedness ahead of the storm. WESH 2's Gail Pascal-Brown looks at what you need to know to make it through Hurricane Matthew safe and sound.
Today is the day to get prepared, build a hurricane kit for you, your family, or business. Have a plan for where your family members will be.
Orlando city leaders want everyone to take Matthew seriously and get prepared for a storm that will hit the metro area hard.
The main threat that we're looking at for this particular system is the wind potential damage that it could bring to us. We're looking at tropical storm force winds. We're looking at hurricane force gusts moving through the Orlando metro area.
We found tree trimmers busy today getting prepared for Hurricane Matthew. Beaver Tree Service says residents have been calling all day, trying to make sure their homes and other structures are clear of debris.
You need to take all the debris that's laying around in the yard, old plants, old pots, things of this nature, and get those either put into the garage or discarded properly, because, yes, they will blow around.
OUC has brought in additional tree trimmers and line techs from as far as Texas, Missouri, and Pennsylvania.
We also ask that if you have any debris in your backyard, lawn chairs, anything like that, if you could bring them inside, because they can become projectiles and get into the lines.
From kids' toys to patio furniture, you've got to make sure all of these items are safe and secure. And if you have anything outside, lock it down or bring it inside from the hurricane. I'm Gail Pascal-Brown in Orlando for WESH 2 News.
Also here in Orange County, shelters are being prepared and schools and activities are canceled through the weekend.
And WESH 2's Greg Fox reports there's no hotter commodity than a bag of sand.
In just the first 3 hours, Orange County handed out 11,000 sandbags.
Thank you so much. Be safe. We're hoping for the best.
The line at the Forsyth Road maintenance facility was more than a mile long.
Oh, man, terrible. 45 minutes to get in here.
But worth it. What do you need to protect? Where are you going to put them?
Back sliding glass doors. And our citizens have to take this serious.
Mayor Teresa Jacobs' biggest worry?
Are those people who are living in housing structures such as mobile homes or others that they feel may not be able to withstand the winds. Those would be the people that we would advise that they look at evacuating.
Shelter locations will be announced Thursday, with 7 schools and other shelters open by 3. Extra patrols will be in areas that are evacuated to prevent looting.
We're going to certainly invoke the law in that case and hold individuals accountable. So that's why we're increasing our patrols.
Just take a look at this map. Zellwood, Apopka, Goldenrod, Bithlo. There are 8 total locations in Orange County where you can get bags of sand. That'll be the case all day Thursday, beginning at 7 a.m. and ending at 7 p.m. as well. In Orange County, Greg Fox, WESH 2 News.
Emergency managers in Osceola County are also stressing the importance of preparation. They're expecting an influx of people scrambling to get away from the coast as they move inland. Shelters open tomorrow.
There aren't a whole lot of luxuries in a shelter, so please be prepared and bring all your personal needs and beddings that you may need to survive in this shelter during the storm. We also have
Osceola County has handed out more than 50,000 sandbags over the past 2 days.
Hundreds of Florida National Guard members are headed to the coast right now. Governor Rick Scott said this evening over 1,500 National Guard members have been activated to help with whatever is needed as Hurricane Matthew arrives. Another 6,000 members are on standby and will be deployed as needed.
If you own a home in Central Florida, now's the time to make sure everything is in order with your insurance before this storm hits.
Find your insurance policy and read through it if you haven't already. Also, check your insurance deductible. It's usually between 2 to 5%. Make sure to take inventory of what you own inside and outside your home as well.
Most people don't remember all the inventory that they have in their house, including jewelry, furniture, fine art, all sorts of things that we have. So it does jog your memory.
It's a good idea to shoot video or take pictures. And if you evacuate, make sure that you take your insurance papers and other important documents with you. Coming up, it is one of the most important things to have plenty of in the event of a hurricane. We're talking about gasoline.
Yeah, plenty of you are taking that advice to heart, and it's leading to some major backups at local gas stations. WESH 2 is there. And as we head to break, a reminder that almost all local public schools have closed for tomorrow and Friday. To keep track, you can find the full list of school closures at WESH.com. It's right there on the main page. We're updating it as more districts announce changes.
And don't forget, you can get the latest on Matthew by downloading our free WESH 2 Hurricane Tracker app. You'll get the updates as soon as they are released by the Hurricane Center. Plus, join our team of meteorologists for live face chats on Facebook about the storm throughout the day.